Okay. All right. We are going to get started. And some of you guys may not even know who I am. So I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to kind of conduct the rest of the cute team members that are here with us tonight so that we can share what the heck we do as coaches and give you guys an idea and see if it's the right fit for you. So I am Ashlyn Mitchell, and my Instagram that I use is Mama Bear Fitness. And so I got into fitness, let's see, it's been, how old is she? It's been 5 years ago. And I did it really because we had a big trauma in our life happen, and I just didn't know what else to do. So we were like frantically looking for therapy, frantically doing all these things to take care of the emotional part and the safety part, but I didn't know I needed something else. And so I actually joined a gym, and I started going. It was January 4th, so I was super cliche, and I went to the gym 5 days a week and did that for a year and a half. And all the while, my husband worked at Beachbody Corporate here in Utah County, which they have a tiny office here. That's what brought us here. And he was like, well, why don't you do Beachbody programs? Like, we get the Shakeology, we get all this stuff. Why are you going to the gym? So I was like, because I don't drink shakes and I don't work out at home, and I'm not doing that. I'm going to the gym. So I did that, and after probably a year and a half of me working out there, and he had worked at Beachbody for 3 years, I was like, I think I want to be a coach. I'm watching you mentor all these ladies and some dudes, and they really were making changes. They were creating an income for their families, and they were just sharing on social media. So I was like, I think I can do that. So he had to quit Beachbody in order for me to be a Beachbody coach. And so he took another job that lasted for a couple months, and then he lost that job. Like, the whole company sold out, which meant I had to make this work. So so the last 4.5 years, we've made it work, and we both work from home and do some mentoring and Beachbody, and it's been a really great thing for us emotionally. Physically, Kobe's lost 30 pounds since November as he's gotten on board with nutrition and just had a really amazing transformation. And it's been a really cool thing for our family, especially my girls who started out with us, climbing all over me and being kind of a mess, and I hated it, to now where they're just dancing in front of us, and it's fun, and teaching by example now. So I share on social media, and that's how I've met all of these girls here. Not all of you, obviously, but my girls here. Most of them I've never met in real life, and I've met Meredith. I think that's it. And so that's the cool thing, is that we get to connect with people all over the world. It's given me a platform to share my passions, to share what I really care about, and to also share my journey. So it's been a really great thing for our family. So the very basics of what a coach does is we invite people to do what we're doing, but we don't do it with at-home parties. We don't cold call. We don't spam people. So if you've seen whoever invited you here, it's how we share. We share by being a product of the product. We work out. We don't say go work out and then we don't work out. We don't say go eat healthy and then go eat donuts. We do it in moderation, guys. So we still eat donuts too. Then we make sure that we are listening to personal development, we're growing, and we're sharing. So most days I'm listening to 10 minutes of a podcast or a little bit of an audiobook or finding something on YouTube that I really love. And so it's helped me to learn to grow in so many different ways, not just like my fitness and nutrition or my income. It really has expanded my personality, doing really hard things that push me. I'm an introvert. And so this is all a big stretch for me. Jill knows. Jill's known me for 25 years or something. So probably longer than that. Yes, thumbs up. She agrees. I'm not normally like that. So the fourth vital behavior of a coach is to recognize. So I shared Miss Angie that's here tonight. I shared her transformation secretly. We didn't show her face or anything on my social media. I like to celebrate the people that I'm helping. I like to celebrate my coaches here who advance in rank or who make big changes. Meredith last month, she earned the most she's ever earned as being a coach, and she's 38 weeks pregnant this week? You're 37, 37 weeks pregnant. So it's awesome. She's created this business for her so that she can be a new mom for the first time. So that's the basics. So with that, I'm going to turn my time. I'm going to unmute Miss Lauren. And where are you, Miss Lauren? Oh, right here. Okay, sorry. So Lauren, I love Lauren, and we have a lot in common. We've connected through social media, but we've never met in person. So when Lauren told me that she was like, what, 6 feet? I was like, wait, what? Because everyone looks, what, normal, average height on the social media? So anyways, Lauren is going to share a little bit about her story and then how we share on social media, what we do.
Yeah. So like Ashlyn said, my name is Lauren. I am 26. I've been a coach now for a year and a half about. And just to give you a little backstory of my story, I have been an athlete my whole life. I was an athlete in college. And so I really love the fitness game and the exercise and everything like that. But what I really struggled with was when I came out of the umbrella of having a coach telling me what to do. And then I had to come up with these workouts on my own. That I really struggled with that. And then the funny thing is that I thought that peanut butter was like the best way to refuel your body after working out. So I would go to the gym. This is after college. I'd go to the gym. I'd be on the elliptical or the treadmill for like an hour, and then I'd come home and just have scoops and scoops of peanut butter. And I blame it on Pinterest because they have like those energy balls and the protein balls and the bars, and all the common ingredients is peanut butter. So I was like, this must be like the game changer to really get those abs and like lose the weight. Okay, well, it didn't work. So needless to say, peanut butter is not the best thing to refuel yourself with after a workout. But I do get my peanut butter in my shakes. But anyways, so after I got married, I started going to the gym consistently, and I had this workout class that I was going to 40 minutes before it started to make sure I got a spot in this class because it was crazy popular. So I'm driving to the gym, waiting 40 minutes before the class starts, then working out, and then driving home from the gym. And that was like almost 3 hours of my night, which is nuts to think, especially if like my husband was back at home waiting for me. It was crazy. And so Ashlyn and I, like she said, met on social media. She just responded to one of my posts because I have an Etsy shop. And so we got connected on there, and I started watching all of her videos and seeing that she was doing this at home and not wasting the time driving to and from the gym. So I hopped on that and jumped right into coaching. And I want to share a little bit of how I transitioned from not being a coach to now being a coach and sharing online and sharing with my friends and everything like that. So one thing I want to share with you is how to share on social media at the beginning. It's more about social media, but one thing that I found that really helped me was that on Instagram, and that's the platform that I used because I was on Instagram a lot before becoming a coach. So I just continued to use that. I turned on my notifications for Ashlyn. So every time she posted on Instagram, I would get a notification that said, Ashlyn, Mama Bear Fitness just posted a photo. So I would go to her Instagram, see what she wrote, see her picture, and literally mimic it and just reword everything and make it sound like me and make it go with my story. Because really there's no point to reinvent everything if what she's doing works and she's found success with it since she's doing this full time. And it would be really foolish of me to be like, just start from scratch and not use any help and think that, I need to, it's just a lot more hard work if you're starting from the bottom instead of using what she's used to become successful, and all of us as coaches now too. So I used her at the beginning would take a picture that looked kind of like her picture, write something that was similar to what she wrote. But then I found my voice as I got more comfortable sharing, as I got more confident, and I started helping other women, and I started just seeing like who I was attracting, the kind of people I was attracting, who I was speaking to. You find your own voice as you just have more practice. I mean, that's like with anything in life. So I'm sure all the coaches here would agree with me when we say, use what we do on social media, anything that you see that you think, oh, that would be good for me, or I can, I relate to that. Use that on your own, either on social media or as you talk to someone else, and it'll become your own voice. And that just kind of takes, like, honestly, a lot of the hard work out of it, and a lot of the initial fear when it comes to sharing your story is when you can just use a little bit over here, use a little bit over here, and then it molds into your story as you continue to share and get better at it, and more practice. So one thing also that I want to talk about too is how we share and we don't sell. And that is something that I immediately just jumped on, because I am far from a salesperson. I'm the type of person that's like, oh my gosh, you don't even want this. Go home. Like, you don't want to spend money on this. It's fine. I understand. Like, go get something else. I would be the worst at a car salesman job, or like at a furniture store or anything like that. Like, you don't want my couch, just save your money. It's fine. So when Ashlyn, was talking about how we share and not sell, I was like, I can do that. I can share my heart and share my story. And I want to empower and encourage you all, because this is awesome. Your story is unlike anybody else's story. Only you. You're the only one that has your story. You're the only one that has your voice. You're the only one that can articulate your heart and your mind and the way you think and the journey you've been on. And one thing we do as coaches is we talk weekly. And in one of our coach calls, Ashlyn had us write down a lie that we've been believing, and then the truth to that lie. And for me, one of the lies was, I'm just another Beachbody coach. I'm one of the thousands out there. Why in the world am I different than anybody else? I'm not. So that was the lie that I was believing. And I had to dig a little bit and find the truth to that lie. And the truth is, no one else has my story. No one else has been where I've been, walked where I've walked, talk how I talk, thinks how I think. And so that for me was like, yes, I am another Beachbody coach, and I might have similarities. I definitely have similarities with other coaches. We're stay-at-home moms, or, things like that. But no one else can articulate what being a stay-at-home mom and then having fitness provided income for my family. No one else can say that how I say it. And so that was really something that I jumped on board with. And I just want to empower you all. And hopefully that encourages you that you're not going to get lost in the midst of things if you're sharing from your heart and you are sharing your story, because there's people out there, whether it's on social media or it's at your workplace or your family, your friends, classes that you take, whatever it is, people, they want to hear your heart, they want to hear your story, and they want to say, oh, I can relate to that. There's this famous quote, I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's by C.S. Lewis, and he talks about the beginning of a friendship begins when someone says, yeah, me too. And so that's something that I've kind of brought hooked onto with this Beachbody coaching, is I want to share so that somebody out there says, me too, I think that way, or I've been there too, or, I used to do that too, or I struggle with that too. Whatever it is, I'm trying to get them to say, yeah, me too, so that we can relate and have that common ground, and they can trust me. And eventually, we can help each other change others' lives. But my main part here was that I just really want you all to be encouraged and empowered that your story is your own and it's unique, and you have a voice that needs to be heard in this world. And y'all are special, man. I just hope that you all feel encouraged right now that your story and your heart needs to be heard and needs to be shared. You're important. And the reasons why you are being a coach, it's important, and people need to hear it. And that's going to get you far when you have that type of mindset, instead of just being like, here, buy my shakes. No, people are going to say no, no. But when you share your heart, they have an emotional connection with you. And then you end up being friends, like Ashlyn and I. We've never met each other, but we send each other swimsuits that we want to buy and outfits that we think look cute. And you know what I mean? Like, we become these friends because we're sharing our hearts and not just sharing photos of the products. So I hope that encourages you to be a little bit more bold as you're sharing, because you are worth hearing. Your story is worth hearing.
You're awesome. Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I absolutely amen to it all, because that is one of the biggest benefits of being a coach for me, has been being able to connect with people in a very real way. And I don't have to be right next to them to do it. So it's cool. We are going to move next to Laura, if that's okay. Where are you, Laura? Yes, you're right next to me on here. Okay. So Laura is also someone I've never met in person, and is the cutest. And she has kind of a cool story. Like Lauren said, we all have a very different story, but she's included her kids in the journey, her older kids, and it's been really a cool thing for her. So she's going to share a little bit of her story and kind of the objections she had before she became a coach, because we all have them. So unmute. There you go.
So there I am. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, so I actually started using the workouts like 8 or 9 years ago. I was an old school insanity girl with the infomercials and stuff. I only know that it was 8 years ago because I had a 2-year-old at the time who would pitch a fit and she would fall asleep on the floor pitching her fit, while I was working out. So it was that at that point. But now I actually got into a challenge pack with Ashlyn, because I was so confused, because I was in and out of Beachbody products for years. And I had a coach reach out to me, I'm sure. And you know what I said? I said, I don't know you, and I don't need a coach. And oh gosh, that's probably why I didn't have sustainable results, because I didn't have accountability, and I didn't have all of the things that I utilize now, and I have lasting results now. But last summer, I had bought a challenge pack, and I had fully planned to quit the Shakeology. Quite frankly, I was like, I had it before it auto shipped. I was ready to, cancel, because it's like, I'm not going to need this, because, I wasn't going to do it. But in life, I don't think we really see value until we see results. And you can't see results until you do the work, whatever that is. And for me, the Shakeology was part of the work I had to do. But I felt the cravings dissipated. I could feel it. I could feel the difference. And because I was doing it every day, because I was being accountable every day in a group with a coach who was cheering me on, saying, hey, you're doing such a great job. And what are you feeling? How are you feeling? And I learned how to figure that out. And then the cravings just went away. But last summer, especially, my husband is on blood pressure medicine. I have been on a beta blocker because of elevated heart rate, and he was on for just high blood pressure. But last summer, my 14-year-old son went to the doctor and was told, you are borderline overweight, and we are worried about your blood pressure. You're going to have to come back. He's 14, and the amount of shame to be told by your doctor weight. He came home totally freaked out and said, Mom, I'll do whatever you say. I'll let you coach me. So he was already working out with my husband, but really didn't have good eating habits, and, was able to, how 14-year-old boys are. They just don't eat well. But he was willing to do whatever it took. He did not want to be put on blood pressure medicine at 14. And so I basically coached my son, and my husband jumped on board, said, I'll do it too. So we all drank the shakes, and it was about 6 weeks before his recheck that he had to go back to see if he needed to, they were going to recheck it after 6 weeks of him, really working on eating healthy and making sure he did exercise and all these things. And in 6 weeks, he lost 21 pounds, and the doctor dismissed him from needing blood pressure medicine. And he's 14 and growing. He's 6'4". And so he has not kept 21 pounds off, nor should he, because he's getting taller. He's gained 2.5 inches since that time. So he's obviously going to continue to gain weight. But he was dismissed after 6 weeks, said, no, you're fine. Your blood pressure is great. You've lost weight. You're perfectly healthy. Just keep doing what you're doing. So at the time, the money objection, I'm like, oh no, this is just too expensive. We can't do this. But what ended up happening, because that is what helped us, is it's a meal replacement. We subtracted that part from our budget for groceries. That is our budget that's one of our meals. The whole family has that for a meal. And we don't just groceries for those. We purchase groceries for the other 2 meals and snacks. And that's just how we fit it in for our family of 6. We have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. And that's just really how it worked for us. But my husband has been able to completely eliminate his beta blocker for blood pressure. He's off of that entirely. And I've been able to reduce my dosage by half. And there's something about getting healthy and feeling the empowerment that Lauren talked about, that I feel like I've improved my family, the trajectory of the health of my whole family. And to me, the value of that is worth it. It's absolutely worth it for us, the way that we feel, all of us. But that's kind of my why is help my whole family have a life that they're not chained to medication, to be honest. And so that's just part of my story, and I'm very thankful for this and the accountability that coaching has. So so that's me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. Honestly, when Laura secretly will just mention these things to me, it's like, wait, what? Your son did what?
Oh, did I not tell you that?
No, I mean, as you go along, she'll send me a picture look, I'm getting strong. These are the fun part. Coaching is like, oh, by the way, I lost 21 pounds. So yeah, it's awesome. And when Laura told me that she had, I think you were getting 3 bags of Shakeology or something.
Yeah.
I was like, you should probably get the discount as a coach.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, we are going to move over. We're going to go to Anna, Miss Anna Brown, and she's going to share a little of her story. Anna's a newer coach, but she works full-time and has really been able to make this happen, and like all of my coaches, has a lot of heart. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Anna.
Well, thank you. So like Ashlyn said, I'm Anna. I live in Nevada, and we've been here for about 7.5 years. I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho. Little backstory, I graduated high school and went to a trade school and became a certified massage therapist for a couple of years until I became a stay-at-home mom. And I was able to do that for a couple of years while also doing the books for our construction company until 2008, when the economy super took a dump and we lost our business and our house, and moved into a rental that we had. And I started working just part-time at a local grocery store that we have, Winco Foods. And I had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and like going to work was the last thing I wanted to do, but needed to do what I needed to do for my family. And it was just going to be like a little part-time thing until he could get a job. And now it's been 10 years and I am a department manager. I work full-time. I'm also going to college part-time to get my associates in business science. And I got divorced a year and a half ago, so I'm a single mom. So I work full-time and I go to school part-time and I parent overtime and I coach part-time too. So I have sort of all of the excuses in the book to not have time to do this. While I was separating from my ex-husband, Ashlyn showed up on my feed and with some quotes that really just struck me and helped kind of catapult me into a different direction. And sorry, I just like went back in time there for a second of thinking about that day. So I followed her for probably a year and was just kind of on my own path of getting divorced and kind of figuring out what all of that was going to be for me and my kids that are now 10 and 12. And just really needed another outlet. I would go to the gym every once in a while and do a Zumba class, and my friend and I would have like workout Wednesdays, but it wasn't anything that I like really put a lot of focus and time and energy into until I realized how much I really needed to bring that to the forefront and take care of myself a little bit more. So I joined a challenge and was just blown away with how powerful it was to switch into that mindset of health and fitness. And I've only been a coach for about 4 months. So I think I did 1.5 challenges, and I was like, okay, like this has put me on a different path that I wasn't expecting to be on, and I love it, and I want to help other people do it. And so I was already doing the workouts and I was already eating better. And so adding just a half an hour in the morning and a half an hour in the evening to coach and connect and do some posts, like it's really not that hard. I was super scared at first of just like, okay, like, can I do it? Like, do I have enough time for this? But when you don't sit and scroll through all of the celebrity Instagram pages, like you can make some really good connections with awesome people. So just being a little bit more responsible with the time that I'm, or, like adulting a little bit more and using my time a little bit more responsibly. So there came a point where I just realized that I couldn't not do it. That I did have my own voice, that I had my own story, and maybe there was some other single working moms out there that just needed to hear that they could do it. And even though maybe there's 4,000 other coaches that are single moms and are telling people that they can do it, that you have your own story, you have your own unique circumstances. And when you're genuine about it, I don't ever feel like, oh, I better share this, or, maybe I won't share this because I don't want to oversaturate everybody's feed with, all of the same stuff. Like, I'm going to have my own spin on it. You're going to have your own spin on it too. You are worth hearing. You are unique and genuine. And it's like just you showing up and being you. And we all totally have the excuses. I've got notebooks full of excuses of why I don't have time, or didn't have the money, or somebody else can do it better than me. But I'm me, and I'm here, and I'm worth hearing too. So yeah, that was when it turned for me, was like Ashlyn and Kobe shared their story, and it totally turned my life in a direction I wasn't expecting. And if I can do that for someone just by popping on for 10 minutes every day, like, why not? You can't not do it.
You're awesome. Thank you
that's
so much. Thank you.
Sure.
Super cool. Super cool story.
Kobe has something. Share your thing.
No, it's just a super cool story, right? I mean, that's a super cool story.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Let's see, is P still here, Pilani? Oh, there you are. Okay, let's go over to Pilani. Pilani is always making it work, even though she's a busy mama and living in Hawaii, where we all want to be vacationing and living too. And so the timing's always tricky with Pilani because we're like, what, 4 hours at least?
4.
So Pilani.
Oh, now 3. Okay, that's right.
So she is going to share with us her own story, and then what we do as far as our accountability groups or challenge groups, if you've heard that name too. So it's Beachbody Talk, but really the core of what we do as coaches, Pilani's going to share. So you're up.
So hi guys. So my name is P.E. Lenny. Everybody calls me P.E. You can, remember physical education, I guess, to remember my name. But I've been a coach for about a couple of years now, and I've been kind of doing it part-time, helping people here and there as much as I can. Of course, we all have busy lives. I was a teacher before, and then when I had my daughter, I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. So I've been a stay-at-home mom for about 10 years now. And I'm loving it. And when my husband started his full-time job, we still needed extra money. And so I decided to kind of jump on this coaching thing, and it's been great. It's been very helpful, making my own time to work, giving time to my family, but still making a little on the side. And so that's been a huge blessing for us. We live off-grid. Meaning we don't have electricity running through our house. We do everything solar, generator. We live on 23 acres of farm, horses, the whole 9 yards. So doing this was kind of a huge thing for me, since a lot of the time's taken away from doing everything else. So I kind of needed something for me too, so I wouldn't just kind of go crazy with everybody else and not have something for me. When I first started my challenge group, I actually had done a bunch of beach body things before. I really liked P90X, but I didn't have that nutrition part. So even though I was working out every day for that hour, I didn't see a whole lot of results because I was still eating whatever I wanted to eat. And so when I first joined Beachbody in a challenge group, I realized that so certain things weren't that healthy for me, that I shouldn't be eating it so often, that I should be more moderate about what I was eating. And so I would check in the challenge group every day and see everybody posting their pictures about what they were eating, about the shakes, about workouts. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is something that I needed. This is great. This is huge motivation for me. And so when I started doing that, I started to see the results. I started to see how much I didn't know, but that I was learning. And so the support groups are just really kind of like your BFF groups, where you get together with your friends. Hey, I had a treat today, just all these kinds of things, letting people know what's going on, what you're doing, what you're working out to, what was hard. Hey, did you try this move? I can't do it. Or, other tips. I'm having a hard time meal prepping. I'm having a hard time, whatever the case may be. That's where you write it in your challenge group. And the coaches facilitate it. They give you tips, they give you motivation, but really, it's about the whole group coming together and sharing what works for them, what doesn't work for them, what they need help with, whatever the case may be. It's just all about coming together and working together for a healthier, fit life. And I think that is like the most rewarding part of being a coach, is doing the challenge groups. You see the progress of, your challengers from the beginning all the way to the end, how they've lost weight, how they feel better, just a whole bunch of things. When I ran my second challenge group, it was my good friend that had joined us, and she had diabetes. She was going to the doctors, doing insulin. I mean, it was just crazy, and she just didn't know what to do. And I told her, let's just start by changing your food. Let's have a plan and just change your food, because she just wasn't up to working out yet. And within the first 5 days, she had lost 9 pounds. And it was just amazing, because it was only her food. She wasn't even working out. And so for me, that was a huge testimony about the importance of your meal planning, the importance of having a challenge group where you can share these successes, where you can share, what you need help with, and then being supported in it. And everyone supports you. Everybody comments. Everybody says goods and bads, and it's just a great opportunity for everyone to come together and be supported. So it as a coach now, it also kind of lights that fire. After a while, it almost becomes a little bit routine, where you're posting the same things, you're trying to help people, but every time you get someone new, they have that that newness to them, that exciting, oh no, this is something new, this is, what can I do, and that for me is huge. That helps me to keep going as a coach, to keep, okay, this is great, this is a new person, this is a new story, this is a new background, and it just makes everything more fun, more exciting for me, and to keep going. And having people come back and tell me, oh, this is great, this has changed my life, it's changed my family's life. It's the most rewarding part of being a coach. So the challenge groups are huge, are just the fun part, I think, of coaching.
Absolutely. And it's funny, I have a challenger texting me right now. She's at Costco in Hong Kong saying, what are the things I'm supposed to buy again? Like, that's the fun of it, right? Is connecting people over. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. Like, it gives you a new, fresh every single time we start a new group. And we incorporate some of these calls so that I can get to see your faces as coaches and challengers, because that's part of the benefit too. I wanted to mention one thing. It sounds super scary that, like, wait, you have to like run a challenge group. But guess what? None of us know all the answers. And so we have a lot of tools to help, but I'm always really honest in my groups, and I don't have all the answers. And so the cool part is someone like Angie, who's on this call, is super fit, like really has been into fitness for such a long time that she can answer a question sometimes better than I can answer the question when another person asks. And she's not even a coach. So a lot of times that's the great part of being in a challenge group, is you get more input than just the coach, if that makes sense. So not as scary as it sounds.
But I would also add to it that there's the other ways that people connect are saying, hey, listen, I'm having a real struggle today with this issue and this issue right here. How are you doing it? And how did you overcome those particular issues? And like, had a conversation with a lady today who was struggling with dealing with the actual numbers on the scale. It's like, I totally get all of that. So challenge groups are also a way where people who are saying, I'm struggling, do you have any solutions? Can you help me? Part of that is like, I totally know what it's like to be there. And I get that. And so people always want to know that they're not alone. They always want to know that someone else has dealt with that struggle as well. And when they know that that's happened, and then there's solutions to overcome those things, man, that makes a huge difference.
And to share the wins. It's not as exciting to share that you're like fit into some pants to the whole world, but our little group cares, because we're all doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn some time over to Shireen. Shireen is here in the pink, and she's going to share a little of her story, and whoops, I think we're unmuting at the same time. It's like, so she's going to talk about the community that we have here as coaches, as a team, how we help each other, and possibly a little of the whole, I have to look like a coach, right?
Yeah, I struggle with that one, definitely, I guess. What if, I don't know, because I guess, well, I'll just go off of that, Ashlyn. So like looking like a coach, I struggle with that one a little bit just because I'm 50 and just, you know, like kind of as we all do, we all feel like we have to be fit and we have to be cut and we have to look the part to be a coach. But like I don't like, that's just like the lie that we believe, that's not really the truth that really is there. And so I'll just do like a really quick, because I know there's other coaches that want to share, but I guess one of the reasons I wanted to become a coach is I met Ashlyn not on social media, but under some other hard circumstances in our lives. And so then I kind of just watched Ashlyn just like have this light and things turn around for her. And so I wanted that light in my life. And I had already been in fitness for a few years. Well, most of my life, like Lauren, I was in gymnastics, and fitness was always, not always, a part of my life. I went through several years where it wasn't, but it was important to me and it was something I liked. So it wasn't something new. So when I met Ashlyn, I was already working out and already going to the gym and eating healthy and things like that. But what I sought was the difference inside. And I feel like, so I kind of like went through a different process. I knew she was coach, but didn't do it. But then I went through just kind of a little exercise of what makes me happy. Who am I? Where I had lost who I was at 50, didn't still want to know what I wanted to do. And I made a list of things I'd like to do. And it was fitness, and it was eating healthy, and it was helping other people. And I remembered some dreams of when I graduated from college of helping other people and be a physical therapist, and my kind of experience in gymnastics with the mindset, because mindset and the psychology of it is everything. And I started remembering how important that is to be successful in not only in gymnastics, but in anything. And so I just kind of started making a list of all the things I wanted to do. And so I called Ashlyn. And so I've been a coach for about a year, I guess, just now. And I struggle with like some identity things of being 50 or not in the shape, but I just keep showing up, and success is coming. It may be slower than others, but it's my journey, and everybody's doesn't have to be the same. And like Anna, I work part-time and I have a daughter with a disability, and you know, we just all are busy. And I think one of the main reasons I show up is not only do I love helping the other people. I had one of my challengers just tell me how her pants are starting to fall off, and I've been working with her for about 6 months, and it just brings so much joy to see people who are struggling and people who, you know, just don't feel good about themselves. And I don't think it's really all about the fitness and the health, which that is a part of it, but it's also about the inside and how the confidence that she feels, or the confidence that I feel, or the joy that I feel just by showing up every day. And it really like turned my focus from somewhere that was a dark, not a good place, to a place where it just keeps me going every single day. And the community part of it that I love is just that, like Ashlyn talked about, and I think Pilani talked about, is just you have the support and the connections in your group, and you have the support and the connections in as coaches. Last year I went to a summit, and it's just so fun to meet people and be around people that are all like-minded, have the same goals, and really just a positive atmosphere constantly, a positive situation in the groups, in the coach groups, in our coach calls. It's just not a lot of negativity, and that is just really helpful. So I don't know, any other questions? I guess, Ashlyn, I don't know, did I cover everything?
No, that was awesome. And I love that you like wrote down, these are the things that I love and these are the things I want to do. And it's like, well, this all fits. So, and that really is like the very basics of what we do and the best parts, right? So thank you. Okay. Meredith, my cute little pregnant mama over here. She's a newly pregnant, like not newly pregnant. She's
I hope not.
she's about
like,
to have her
no.
baby. This is her first baby is what I meant. So Meredith is going to talk about her story and a little bit. She actually is the one that she has the training, right? That everyone thinks they need to be a coach. And so she's going to talk about that because I graduated in interior design. He graduated in communications. Clearly, it's working with that one. So, all right, Meredith, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so right now my mind is like going like 100 miles an hour just because, I mean, just hearing everything from all the other coaches, I'm like, yes, like, and I just get so like amped up by it. And it just reminds me like my story. It's just crazy how like so many different things have come together to where I'm like, you know, this is why I'm a coach, but no, this is why, but this is why, you know, like there's so like, anyway, so my training is that I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. So I just graduated last May. And my major is like with personal training and like health promotion, stuff like that. But I realized I didn't want to do that because personal training is when you're on everyone else's schedule. So it's like 5 a.m. or, you know, 7 p.m. And I was like, heck no, like, I don't want to work those hours. I don't want to do that. So I mean, that's one thing I was drawn to with coaching is that it's on your own schedule and you get to do it when you want to do it. So, so when I became a coach, I was still in college. And right now I'm like a month away from being 23. I should have this baby before then, but I was, I think I was 20 years old. I'd been married for a year. We were living in we just moved out of my in-laws' house. We were living in this tiny little apartment that was like, it had mold and mice and it was awful. And I was just like plummeting. I was like depressed, not like diagnosed, but I wasn't super happy and like passionate about anything. And I was going to school and I just switched to this kinesiology major. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I come from a family with like major obesity, heart disease. I mean, my dad had a heart attack last year. Like, I mean, there's just like all these health issues in my family, and I was terrified of that happening to me. So I was like, okay, I don't really know exactly what this major is, but I'm so interested in health and fitness. Like, I want that. But then I started going to class and I like had my Dr. Pepper and I'm like surrounded by all these athletes, all the baseball players and all these fit people. And I was like, okay, I am way in over my head. So I was like, I need to start working out. But I was similar to, I mean, what Lauren had said, like Pinterest workouts or going to the gym. Going to the gym was not my thing. So I would try it and then I wouldn't stick with it. Or I'd say, I'm going to run a half marathon in 6 months. And I'd run for a week and quit. And, you know, I couldn't find something that was working. So when I was reached out to on Instagram, I decided, hey, this sounds pretty cool, but I actually joined a coach sneak peek. That was something like this was like the first thing that I ever had with Beachbody. And I decided, okay, if I'm going to go into this, you know, okay, I'm putting this money towards Shakeology, putting this money towards workout programs or whatever, like, you know, my husband was kind of skeptical of that. And I said, but like, this is like my major. This is like kinesiology. This is like helping people and I can make money and I can cover my costs. And so I decided I'm going to go all in. So my first challenge group, I didn't run it myself. I joined a challenge group and then I got 3 people to come join me that month. Some friends of mine. And, you know, I just did that I started sharing on social media and I would say, you know, hey, this is working for me. Like I've worked out 2 weeks in a row. Like something's finally sticking. Like these are awesome. And it's only 30 minutes. And I remember posting that first selfie and being like, what am I doing? Like posting on Instagram, like my sweaty selfie, like I worked out today. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But I just went for it. And I started doing that, and I made it work with, you know, I was going to college at the time and I was working. And so one other thing I was going to say, like similar to some of the other coaches, is that you can do this while you're working another job. I've done this while I've worked at 2 gyms since I started becoming a coach, and I've worked at a lumber mill. I worked at a daycare, and I switched jobs a lot, but this is the one that stuck for 2 years, and I love it. And the best part about it is that this is like my end goal. So I'm about to have a baby, you know, in 3 weeks, but we'll see when she shows up. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that I have an income coming in, because, you know, right now it's kind of a weird, the way my husband's income is set up. He gets a big stipend at the beginning of the semester, and we have to be smart with that. But my income's really what it is. So I'm having a baby in the middle of the semester, so I need to have an income keep coming. So I'm really grateful that I've been able to do this part-time, and even less than part-time sometimes. I'm not perfect about it. I'm not putting devoted like hours and hours every day, but I've made this work to where I totally preach consistency over being extreme. You just got to show up a little bit every day. And, you know, I've made this work while I'm pregnant, and because I knew I wanted to have a family. I knew I wanted to be healthy before I had a family. And I dreamed of being able to, I'm kind of a, like, I always want to work, and I always want to like stay busy. So I knew that maybe becoming a mom and going to stay at home, I might want something else also. Who knows? I've never had a kid. I know it's a lot of work, but I'm just really grateful for this. And I know that because of it, I can continue to have that income, and I can continue to be part of a community, and I can continue to stay in shape. Like, it's all these things that I need in my life. So it just really works out for me.
You're awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Meredith. And I think all the coaches on here, we all work part-time. I work more full-time compared to some of them, but it's still not full-time. So that's, I think, a beauty of our team, is that all of us are absolutely like moderation in all things, and not all or nothing. So thank you for sharing that, Meredith. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions. You guys have some questions here. Feel free to ask some more. The first one is, what is the cost of being a coach versus just a customer? Okay, so I'm assuming this may be a customer. I don't know. So the coach cost to sign up, I think that was another one, is $39, and that's refunded and reimbursed if you have already bought a challenge pack, which if you're a customer, you most likely have. So it's like the on-demand plus the Shakeology, or plus the supplements. Okay, so they give you that back. So the cost to sign up is $0 if you've already purchased something. If you are military, it's free. They reimburse you that $39, and then it's free every month after that, which is really, it's their Beachbody's way of saying thank you for your service. So that's awesome. Each month after signing up as a coach, the first month you pay nothing, and then every month after that it's $15.95. And that $15.95 goes towards your back office, which takes care of all of your customers' information, their orders, tax information, all the good stuff, right? And they give you a little website, and they give you free customers. So people, if they just happen to buy off of an infomercial or beachbody.com, and they don't know anything about coaches, those people get divided up between coaches who are working coaches. Okay, so that's kind of where that goes. And then you get 25% off as being a coach. As a customer, you pay that. Most people sign up with a challenge back, and depending on where your coach is, it's your business. So you get to pick and choose and say, our challenge groups, you have to be invested each month, which means you are on Shakeology every month, or you're buying Energize, or you're whatever, or you can be the giver. So it's your own business. So that's the cool thing, is you get to decide, and you get to be a part of that. So the next question is, how hard is it to get people to sign up each month? I'm afraid of signing up and then flopping. That's a good question, because I think in our heads, we all think like sell. I have to sell something. So Kobe's like hates that word, right?
That's like the S word in our world. Because
an introvert can't sell.
Yeah.
So that scares me off like no other. Like,
yeah. The words like, are you interested? Or I'm going to sell something. There's a few others like that. They're just like, that just make my butt twinge. And those are some of those, because honestly, it's like no one, I don't ever want to be sold. Like, we were at Costco today and this lady's like peddling this Marion Berry goat cheese. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy your goat cheese, right? And I don't want to be sold. No matter how much I love your goat cheese, I don't want to be sold. No one wants that. But what really is, what really I think moves people to action is a story or a personal experience. Like, for my shoes, this is what my journey was. And that's really what has been spoken to, I think, tonight by Lauren, by everybody who has spoken. They shared their own journey or they heard someone else's journey, and that's what inspired them to take action.
And that's exactly what they do on social media or in real life. I mean, we're not having parties, at home parties, and we're not bugging our neighbors. But when people ask, we can help, and this is what we do. And so it really is, we give you tools, we teach you, we have a lot of trainings here on our team. Beachbody has trainings, so we do our best to help you to learn how to do the process of learning how to be a storyteller and how to connect with people.
How to give.
And we give lots of tips and things and free groups, so that in return we can ask every once in a while and say, hey, come and support me in what I'm doing. And so it kind of depends on you and your willingness to say, I'm going to use the tools that are given to me, and I'm going to
learn the skill,
be consistent, like Meredith said, and show up a little bit every single day. And that's how we do it. We start, just so you're clear, we start with people that we're already connected with, people we already know. And we don't ever just say, hey, guess what? I signed up as a Beachbody coach. Oh my gosh, like, go, if you're going to buy anything, buy it through me. We don't do that. That's icky and yucky, and unfollow on Facebook. And so really we just share our story, or we're proof of the product. And so for me, my first customers was my brother and my sister and a best friend. And all I said was, hey, I'm signed up as a coach. They already knew I worked out. And I said, I've never done this program. I'm kind of backwards. I started with 21 Day Fix. I've never done it. I don't know how to be a coach. I don't know how to lead a group, but why not just come and do it with me? And they did, because they love me. And it worked out for me every month after that, because I chose to connect and reconnect with people that I already knew. And then I started getting to meet people on social media that I didn't know, but that I connected with. And so that's kind of another question of what are good ways to get followers on social media? So another, we have lots of tools and education, tricks and tips that we use. We don't hire bots and robots and do all that stuff, but we try to be savvy and use hashtags and connect with the people who are already there. We use Instagram stories to talk like it's really awkward at first. I won't lie. Where's my phone? You hold up your phone and you're talking to your phone like it's a person, and it's silly. But some of those conversations that I've had with my face, on stories, turn into some of the coolest relationships, because what happens is people start to know you and to trust you and to feel like safe. So they want to work with you. And then in return, you get to know them, and this is what happens right here. And so it can be done. I myself started with 0 friends. I had unfriended everyone on Facebook. And so I had 100 friends on Facebook, and I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I hate social media. And I was like, I want to be a coach. And I was like, crap, I don't have any friends. And I thought Instagram was a filter, and it is not. It is social media. And so now I have a larger following. I get to meet people on a bigger platform, and I figured it out. If I can figure it out, and I thought it was a filter, I can teach you how to figure it out, because you probably already know it's not a filter. Okay, how do you keep track of paper, like the taxes and such? It is tax season. I was part of a company before, and taxes were a nightmare, and I felt like there was no direction. So, Kobe, you're a tax guy.
That is, I'm a lot of things. That's not actually one of them. Although that's like that's in my my heap of tasks to do. But honestly, like we, by law, every business who has 1099 employees, not employees, but contractors, if you will, they have to send out a 1099 to us, and we get one, I don't know, the first week in February, and we take that to our accountant and say, here you go. And then we also use QuickBooks to track our expenses, and then
lots of write-offs.
So it's like,
I went and got my eyelashes today. They're a write-off.
Yeah.
It's just fun things like that. So, 25% of our house is a write-off because we work from home.
Totally.
So there's lots of tips and tricks with taxes. I am no expert, but yeah,
but I'd also like if it's like legit a concern, like the paperwork you'll receive from. We receive our paperwork from Beachbody every February, and it's the same format, and we take that to our accountant. So I'd suggest just finding a legit accountant and CPA that can help you.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one, kind of I answered, but I'll answer again to make sure we understand. So it's, what are the startup costs that have to be paid upfront? And this one, to be clear again, it can, most people sign up with a challenge pack. Right now they're $150. They're $10 off this month, which includes 1 year access to Beachbody On Demand, which is the online library for fitness and nutrition, what I think all of us use. And then either 1 month of Shakeology, 1 month of Daily Sunshine, which is the kids shake, or 1 month of the pre-workout and post-workout. And so that's $150. If you sign up with that, then there's no cost. We don't keep product in our house. When I was a new coach, I remember, or not a new coach, I was signing up. I asked my friend, like, can't you just give me 21-day fix? Like, I want to start tomorrow. And she's like, no, we don't keep product at our house. So that means that we have no inventory. You can't come over to my house and buy Shakeology because that's not how it works.
Drink your own. We're drinking ours.
So
we love it.
I love that because I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to buy a bunch, like thousands of dollars of product and then hope that I sell it, right? So I think it takes a lot of burden off. So it's if you have already purchased a challenge pack, then it's the $39, which then you can get reimbursed. So no one's going to sign up here and just pay the $39 and not buy anything, because you have to be a product of the product. So, okay. So that's it. Any other questions? Raise your hand. Yes, no? Okay, so what the heck is the next step? So you guys are all here because someone invited you. Some coach invited you within this group. And so what I want you to do is to reach out to that coach. I want you to send them an email or a text or however you communicate with them, and let them know what your level of excitement to be a coach is. It can be a 1, like, yeah, that's not for me. I love what you're doing. I'll support you. Not for me. It can be a 10, which is like, why haven't you signed me up yesterday? Like, help me. So I want you to reach out because that's who invited you. So reach out to whoever it was. And I'm really grateful that you guys are here. Thank you for coming. And we made it. It's 8:34. So we did a good job. So thank you. All right, you guys go and have a great night. And I hope to hear from you guys soon. Bye.